Happy holidays, y'all. Welcome back. You know what I mean? Another video coming through. Thank y'all for the love of the most recent video. I'm just really excited to get back into it. It's been a while since I've been here, but I feel like the days that I missed shouldn't count towards the 15 video goal. And let me tell you why. I got a family. You know what I mean? I got Christmas shit to do. And I know some people gonna say, oh, you should just record it in advance. Shh. I ain't trying to hear that. Just understand where I'm coming from. I'ma still get 15 videos up for y'all within the next month. And then I'll continue this streak going on for the rest of next year. Y'all gonna see so much more of me, because I seem to think that y'all are starting to like it around here. Thank y'all. First thing we're going to get into. Actually, let me just give y'all a preview of what we're really going to talk about. Does having long layoffs or long breaks in between albums cause more hunger from your fan bases? And I have a few different examples of this that I can show you guys. And like a few current examples where we have that question. Is their hunger getting stronger, or is the fan base just evolving? Let's see. But first things first, I have the top 10 highest grossing rap tours of 2025. Let's start from 10 and go up. 10 is Central C, Can't Rush Greatness World Tour, $15 million. Number 9, Raw Darius Wavington, Last Lap Tour and the Redemption Experience, 21.6. Don Toliver, Psycho Tour, 24.8. Young Boy Never Broke Again, Make America Slime Again Tour, 28.3. Wu-Tang Forever, The Final Chamber, 30.6. Travis Scott, Circus Maximus Tour, 41.2. This one surprised me. A few of these are surprising because I didn't know there was this many tours this year. But number 4, in 2025, Suicide Boys Gray Day Tour. Now, I didn't know they had these many fans still. To be honest, I was never a fan of Suicide Boys. I thought it was pretty corny. But they got 43.5 million. 3, Nelly, Where the Party At Tour, 44.9. Also didn't know he had a tour. Also didn't know people cared about fucking Nelly. These are really the only 2 tours that I really was tapped in on. Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia, the World Tour, sold 174.5 million. And Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Grand National Tour, sold 369.6 million. That is probably one of the highest grossing tours of all time. Maybe the highest grossing rap tour of all time. I don't really know. I don't really care. I just had some numbers I wanted to show y'all. And a lot of people are complaining. I don't give a fuck. You can complain. That's all that rap fans do this day. Bitch and complain. Bitch and moan. Shut up. All I gotta say. Let's get to the real meat and potatoes of this. First, I got a few little tidbits that I can add from the past and from current time of long layoffs in between albums and how the fans reacted to them, because I am a fan of the people that I'm going to bring up. First things first, I'll bring up a few modern examples. The layoff that Playboi Carti had from Whole Lotta Red to Music was well received, but also in the midst of it all, there was so many different eras that Playboi Carti went through. Like, he was supposed to drop Narcissist, I believe was the name of his initial project. It's just that leaking culture in rap music, especially for more modern rappers, is so prominent that their albums get leaked all the fucking time. So I can understand if he was okay, I had to make 3 fucking albums during this time period because y'all just keep leaking my shit, and that's annoying the fuck out of me. Because it would annoy me if somebody kept leaking my damn music. But I feel like the fans received music well. It didn't really stick as much as I thought it would. I still listen to some little pieces off of that, but compared to a Whole Lot of Red, which was so culturally defining for him and for rap in general, for where it became and where it is right now, it didn't really hit the same. But also, it has better songs than a Whole Lot of Red, in my opinion. Whole Lot of Red is just very much more experimental for the time and monumental for the genre in the good or bad ways, whatever you feel it is. Some other example I have. So I had Kendrick Lamar from 2017 to 2022. no albums unless you count the Black Panther album for the movie. But he didn't really drop anything. He wasn't on features or singles. And if he was on features, it was little things like when he was on Revenge of the Dreamers and he did like the little background vocals for the chorus and things like that. He's not really like, he wasn't really out there as much. And he spoke on it on his album, like why he wasn't out there as much. And I feel like obviously he's gonna sell well because it's Kendrick Lamar. People try to act like he's not a big draw. He's always been a big draw. It's a stupid argument to even make. But I think the album initially was not received as well as it should have been because let's say Whole Lot Red. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is such a good album when it comes to like explaining where he's been while also talking about a lot of demons that he's had throughout his life and speaking about his whole life in general in such a cohesive way while staying raw and emotional. I feel like there were so many takes at the time like, is this Kendrick's worst album? And it didn't fucking make sense to me at all in any way, and it still doesn't, because like I said, this is still my favorite album of the 2020s. It is such a good album from Kendrick Lamar, and it's so underappreciated by so many people, because at the time, for some reason, it was a popular fucking take to just walk around saying it sucked. Now, that happens a lot when it's like an album just becomes a popular thing to like make fun of or hate on. For example, when Mac Miller's Swimming first came out before he died, a lot of people were trying to act like nobody cared about the album, when in reality, it was a very good album by a very good artist that a lot of people cared about. It just turned into a thing where people were like, oh, we don't really give a fuck. We don't care, Mac. We don't want to listen to that shit. When it's like, this person is making this piece of music for people who genuinely care about them, and there's a lot of people who genuinely care about the music, or there's a lot of people who just like are actually looking forward to this, and they put a lot of work into it. And then for some reason, the internet just likes to go around and just shit on it. I would never understand that take. I would never understand that outlook of just doing a hive mind thing, like having hive mind, and then just, oh yeah, I see on the internet all these different pages are saying the album sucked, so it sucked. Oh my god, it was so bad. When in reality, you can just form your own opinion by actually listening to the album, especially if you're a fan of the person. But I went on a little tangent right there. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. After Damn, I'm not going to say it's better than Damn because I still listen to Damn to this day. It's an amazing fucking album. But Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is very fucking good. It fits on so many different levels. It has bangers on there. It has this introspective bag on there. And the only gripe you could have with it is that it's a little longer, but it's a 2-disc album, so of course it's going to be long. But yeah, I really didn't understand, and I still don't understand the hate that album gets. I feel like it's very forced and like corny, and people just say it to follow what other people say on the internet. But the fans were very, very satiated by that for a period of time, because then he ended up going on tour. We saw a lot more of Kendrick after that album came out, and we're still seeing a lot more of him since then. For example, that led to, him being on Like That with Future and Metro Boomin, and then the Drake beef and everything like that. So yeah. I don't know what the fuck I did that for, but let me see some other ones. Another artist that's had an album that came out very long ago is A$AP Rocky. His last album dropped in 2018, Testing, and now he is starting to do his rollout for Don't Be Dumb. Has a few snippets coming out, a few little like director art pieces. That's like the best way I can like describe the stuff that he's doing for it. He's going on different sort of like social media apps promoting it. I've seen a lot of like the signed DVDs and signed vinyls of the album are already reselling for a lot of money. So do I think the fans are excited? Of course. Do I think it's going to reach the expectations that the wait has been given? You know what I mean? Like, it's been such a long wait. Do I think that it can reach those expectations? I really don't think so. I'm not saying I think A$AP Rocky's a bad artist, but I don't think he's an artist to the level of, oh, it's almost been a decade, let's see what you got type artist. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have music that's good enough to be able to take a decade off, no problem. You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be some issues. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, we waited so long for this, and it's just going to be a cool album or a very good album. And he could prove me wrong and make something that's like genuinely generational and so like enjoyable to listen to. But this is a real make or break moment for Rocky as a musician. Of course, he's always going to be a mogul of some type. He's such a fashion icon at this point of his career. He does so well with directing music videos and things like that. If he doesn't start making his own music anymore, then he can just go to different fucking artists and do their music videos and things like that. So it's not like his career would be over, but his rap career would take a soothing halt for a very long time if this album does not do well. Which, if I'm Rocky, I'm really attentive to that. I'm really, I'm locked in on that for sure. Another person that I have that for some reason, okay, this person right here, they haven't been rumored to drop music. They just always are going to be a prominent name when it comes to somebody who's like people want to hear music from. He's always like put on fake like album track list and things like that. Frank Ocean, it's about to be 10 years since Blonde came out. So, and we haven't heard any sort of like new music snippets, things like that. Obviously, he's dropped like a few singles since then, but other than that, it hasn't been nothing crazy album wise. I think that Blonde is a top 20 album of all time. I love that album, and it's so easy to listen to, so soothing, so emotional, so real. Like, it is genuinely such a real album to listen to. But what I will say is, I don't know if anybody can outdo themselves after a 10-year wait from an album that was that good. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that in any point of his career, Frank Ocean can come back and then just drop an album and everyone's like, okay, it was worth the 10-year wait. I don't think that's possible. I do not think that's possible from anybody, let alone Frank Ocean. I'm not saying that like, oh, he's a bad artist. I'm saying that like, oh, what is he going to improve on from Blonde in these last 10 years that's going to lead us to want to, be like, okay, this is better than what he did then. Water. Low-key, the water that I'm drinking gives away the location that I live in, which is kind of crazy. But neither here nor there. Do I think Frank will drop in the 2020s? I made a TikTok where I said I hope he drops at least one time in this decade, which is such a fucking low bar. And I'm sorry if he doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but if he doesn't drop in the 2020s, he's genuinely not considered a musician anymore because he has not like officially retired and he has not dropped enough work for me to be like, oh yeah, it's fine that he's not going to drop ever again. You have 2 albums, brother. 3 projects. I'm just not feeling like I can't put you on any pedestal if this is how you're going to be when it comes to dropping music and continuing to prove yourself. You can't just go 2 albums, both of them are amazing, and then just be like, okay, I'm done. That's not how it goes. I'm sorry. Same thing with Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill. I think her album is amazing. Can't put her on no pedestal. I'm sorry. Last but not least, and this is probably the most controversial one, Baby Keem has not dropped since 2021, and this is like, I think this is a prime example of somebody losing all of their momentum, because there was a point in time when Baby Keem was very much sought after from a lot of fans. A lot of people were like, okay, Baby Keem, I fuck with this. I really do like what I see from Baby Keem, and that was me for a very the Melodic Blue was very, very, very enjoyable for me at the time, and I go back to it sometimes. I'm like, wow, he really fumbled the type of momentum this gave him. And then he was also on a lot of Kendrick like projects and stuff, but I don't see how he continues this momentum 5 years later. We're at the end of 2025, bro. This shit dropped in 2021, and I have not heard a single thing from you, Keem. You were in the back of fucking Like Him going, huh, and you thought the fans were gonna be like, oh my god, Baby Keem. No, we're like, bro, drop a real verse. What the fuck are you doing? You are not at the level of your cousin, bro. I hate to break it to you. I'm gonna keep it so real with you. You are not at Kendrick Lamar level where you could take a long ass break and everyone will be fine with it. No, you are Baby Keem. This is your first real album, like near the top of the rap game. Nobody really knew who you were like that before this. Lock the fuck in. You are not just living off of the Melodic Blue for the rest of your career. Do you want to? Because that's an easy way for a career to end. Like, I'm sorry. I fuck with Baby Keem. I think his sound is fun. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, I don't know what the people in his corner are telling him that makes him think he can just take a 5-year fucking break after dropping a good album. Like, he dropped a good album, but this isn't like a fucking all-timer. This isn't one of the greatest albums I've ever heard in my life. So there's no reason to just let it marinate for 5 fucking years without a run-up or a follow-up. That doesn't make sense. Baby Keem, that shit doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. I have to hear about, like, in your next album, you gotta talk about some shit you're going through like Kendrick Lamar after Damn. But the thing is, You don't have the luxury to take a 5-year fucking layoff. I can't emphasize this enough, Baby Keem. You don't have the luxury. Because your next album can just go by the wayside, bro. Honestly. They could just be like, I don't want to listen to it no more. It's been too long. I don't really have the appetite for Baby Keem. And then they just won't fucking listen to you. That can really happen. So let's lock the fuck in. And drop some shit this year that matters. Drop a single. My God, when was the last time you dropped a single, Baby Keem? I know, I get it. Like, yeah, music isn't your only life, bro. The last single you dropped was with Fred again in 2023. And you talking about some family? Oh my, nah, bro. I'm sorry. Baby Keem, you're pissing me off because of how much potential you had and what you have done with it so far. I understand you want to bask in the success of the Melodic Blue. You don't bask in the success of an album for 4 years. Because guess what? Nobody's really listening to the Melodic Blue that much. Do I go back and listen to it? Yes. But the majority of people who listen to your album in 2021 through 2023 are not listening to it in 2025, 2026. You hear what do you understand that? It seems like he doesn't understand that people move on with music. We need to see something. People move on with music unless you drop a fucking all-timer. Which, Keem, it's a great album. You didn't drop a fucking all-timer. You can't just let shit marinate like that, bro. It bothers me so much just because of the potential that you showed with that album and what you could have been able to follow it up with. So your next album better hit. Your next album I feel like Cam Newton talking to Keon Coleman. They ain't gonna keep being patient with you. I love cookies. I'm not doing we're not gonna keep being patient. The fans aren't gonna keep being patient, Keem. That's just what it is. Lock the fuck in. But let me know how y'all feel. Do y'all like long layaways or long periods of time in between each album? Or do you like something like, for example, Tyler the Creator drops a new album every 2 years at least? That's what he's done his entire career. Do you prefer that, or do you prefer a 5-year layoff like there was in between Damn and Mr. Morale? Do you like that type of shit? Because I can tell you for sure I'd much rather deal with the fucking 2-year little layoff than have to wait fucking 5 years for an album. Or do you prefer just listening to the same albums over and over again? Just let me know, because I like getting new music. I love new music. But thank y'all for tuning into another video. Once again, thank y'all for the love. I love y'all, and I will continue posting. It was just fucking Christmas. Happy holidays. Peace.